Boo! What it do, YouTube? I'm Uncle B and welcome to my channel Brave Opinions, where we encourage you to think and remind you that even though it's 2022, it's okay to have an opinion. And today we'll be reacting to 10 universe theories that will keep you up at night. So, let's check it out. So, 10 universe theories that will keep you up at night. This is a video by Factnomenal. Do check out the original video. And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I was a curious boy and I love space. So let's go.
Space is extremely intriguing, and some theories of the things that happen there make us wonder more about it every day. Number 10. What was there before the Big Bang? We all know that things came to be after the Big Bang, but what was there before the Big Bang? It's believed that there was an initial singularity before anything else. This is a
So, what was there before the Big Bang? Of course, this kind of tackles the question of the origins of the universe. And, you know, we don't have an answer. Of course, a lot of religious dogma kind of has a claim to their own absolute truth. And this is a topic that would be exploring quite heavily on the channel, so stay tuned. But yeah, as far as science goes, the only kind of scientific idea I have, theory that I know of, is from the book by Lawrence Krauss, A Universe from Nothing. He basically has his theory of how the universe came from nothing, and I know that's an extremely rudimentary way to explain that, but you know, it'll take me 10 hours to explain it, so go check it out yourself. As far as what's behind the Big Bang, of course you have various theories, you know, the simulation theory, the multiverse theory, all of that. We'll explore sooner or later, so stay tuned.
Gravitational singularity predicted by general relativity to have existed before the Big Bang and thought to have contained all the energy and space-time of the universe. The initial singularity possessed seemingly infinite density, thought to have contained all of the mass and space-time of the universe before quantum fluctuations caused it to rapidly expand in the Big Bang and subsequent inflation, creating the present-day universe. Number 9. What happened?
Yeah, so I mean, by that theory, that means that first, where did the source of kind of compressed energy came from, and also, you know, it really means that we might not be the only kind of universe that there is. And you know, space is an extremely intriguing topic because it's something that we can't really explore, and yeah, the vastness of it just, you know, a lot of religious people talk about how there is an intelligent creator and all that. What would we do without it? And I think that that is a real kind of bastardization of the beauty and just grandeur of what outer space is, you know.
Happens when you fall into a black hole. With black holes being one of the most intriguing astronomical objects in the universe, it's no surprise that some people have wondered countless times what would happen if you fell into one. To fully appreciate what's a black hole, we need to first understand the properties of one. A black hole is a place where gravity is so strong that nothing else can escape. Black holes are named as such because they can't reflect nor emit light, and they're only visible when they're feeding on other stars or gas clouds that come too close to their event horizons, their main boundary. Beyond the event horizon lies a truly minuscule point called a singularity, where gravity is so intense that it infinitely curves space-time itself. This is where the laws of physics as we know them break down, meaning all theories of what lies beyond are just speculation. If you were free floating in space near a stellar mass black hole that wasn't feeding on anything, your only hint that it exists might be the gravitational magnification or lensing effect it would have on background stars. But as you flew closer to this strange spot,
This reminds me of the best sci-fi movie of all time, Interstellar, right? Perfect this depiction of this. So yeah, check it out.
You'd be stretched in some directions and squished in others, a process that scientists call spaghettification. This is because the black hole's gravity compresses your body horizontally while pulling it like taffy in the vertical direction. If you jumped into the black hole feet first, the gravitational force on your toes would be much stronger than that pulling on your head. Meanwhile, if you were to plunge into a supermassive black hole, things would be considerably less scary. While it might still result in a horrible death, you might make it all the way through the event horizon and manage to start falling inside the singularity while you're still alive. You'll die either way, but at least things here will be a little less painful. Number 8. The Earth will become like Venus. Both Earth and Venus are very similar planets. They have very similar size, mass, and composition, though their main difference is that Earth sustains life, and Venus is essentially a galactic wasteland because it's mostly composed of carbon dioxide.
Hang on. And also because we're in the Goldilocks zone. But yes, Earth is it's our home, right? And global warming is a real thing. The population kind of numbers have kind of just exploded from a couple 100,000 a few decades ago to 7.5 billion. This is a real problem, right? And that's why Elon Musk with Tesla is just so important. So yeah, brave opinions, we encourage you to have a brave opinion, but if you're one of those who kind of deny global warming, then that is just absolutely ridiculous.
However, climate change isn't the only thing that might affect Earth becoming like Venus. As the sun becomes 10% hotter around 1 billion years from now, the surface temperature of Earth will reach 47 degrees Celsius, prompting the temperature of Earth to increase rapidly and its oceans to boil away until it becomes a greenhouse planet. A greenhouse planet, like Venus, isn't exactly the nicest place to live in the universe. Venus's atmosphere is almost entirely carbon dioxide and chokingly thick, with an atmospheric pressure at the surface 90 times that of Earth. That's the equivalent pressure of a mile beneath our ocean waves. It's so thick that you almost have to swim through it just to move around. And on top of this are clouds that are literally made of sulfuric acid. Number 7. White holes. We all know about the existence of black holes, but did you know that their distant cousins, the white hole, also exist? And if you think black holes are weird, white holes will literally blow you away. Instead of absorbing matter, white holes spew it out. To a spaceship crew watching from afar, a white hole looks exactly like a black hole. It has mass, it might spin. A ring of dust and gas could gather around the event horizon. But instead of absorbing things, they're belching matter out. Physicists describe a white hole as a black hole's time reversal, a video of a black hole play.
You gotta think, like, if a black hole kind of sucks everything in, a white hole releases, then is there some kind of relation to it, right? And there's there is no scientific research or basis for what I'm saying, but it goes to show how little we know and how minuscule our existence is. And us as a civilization need to explore these questions, and there are a lot of kind of archaic ideas and rules that are just in the way. And I think it's 2022, and I personally feel that our generation, we're in some sort of race, against the eventual kind of AI problem, against the ozone layer problem. Like, we're in such a unique generation because we are essentially cyborgs now with our phone. There's never been a time where we're all so informed. And you know, this is kind of the reason why I wanted to start this channel, because you know, these are things that we should all think about. And yeah.
Played backwards, much as a bouncing ball is the time reversal of a falling ball. While a black hole's event horizon is a sphere of no return, a white hole's event horizon is a boundary of no admission, space-time's most exclusive club. Number 6. Big Rip. All good things must come to an end, and it seems like the universe is one of these. This is something established by the Big Rip, in which scientists have theorized that the universe could end up expanding so much that it will eventually rip itself to pieces. Solar systems, planets, asteroid belts, and even whole galaxies will be torn apart. Of course, that's something that will happen several million years from now, so it's not like we're going to be here when it does. But when it does, you can bet that things will not be pretty for humans. Number 5. The Drake equation. The Drake equation is a formula that's been used to estimate the number of active extraterrestrial civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy. How many alien societies exist and are detectable? This famous formula gives us an idea. The Drake equation, which was the agenda for a meeting of experts held in West Virginia in 1961, estimates N, the number of transmitting societies in the Milky Way galaxy. The terms are defined as follows. N, the number of civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy whose electromagnetic emissions are detectable. R, the rate of formation of stars suitable for the development of intelligent life, number per year. F sub p, the fraction of those stars with planetary systems.
Yeah, there is, you know, I mean, my opinion, and I'm brave enough to say it, there is absolutely no way that we're the only kind of intellectual organisms in the entire galaxy. To think that we're that special is just ludicrous, just by probability, right? And you know, some people like to say, oh, if there are aliens, why haven't they come? First of all, we don't know that. Second of all, if I were an alien billions of years more evolved, I wouldn't care. Like, have you walked across an anthill and, you know, tried to speak ant and say, hey, we're here? No, right? And then comes the question of different dimensions. Just as how, you know, a 2D drawing would not be able to understand our 3D world. Of course, just the limitations of the human body, right? For example, a bat. They see the world through echolocation, right? That means that a lot of sensory standards, I guess, that we humans live by do not apply to them. They're unable to perceive the world as we do. So, in essence, their consciousness almost belongs in a separate kind of subsection of reality. And who is to say that we're, you know, the Earth being relatively young, you know, have kind of created organisms that are able to grasp different dimensions of reality. Like, this is where I think the supernatural world comes in play. Again, many of these topics I'd like to kind of do a deep dive in future. I don't claim to know everything, but yeah, it's nice to think about this, all of this, right?
N sub E, the number of planets per solar system with an environment suitable for life. F sub L, the fraction of suitable planets on which life actually appears. F sub I, the fraction of life-bearing planets on which intelligent life emerges. F sub c, the fraction of civilizations that develop a technology that produces detectable signs of their existence.
How can
And
they know
L,
this?
the average length of time such civilizations produce such signs in years. Number 4. Time is running out.
Imagine this, having 200 to 300 potential clients every month raising his.
Some scientists theorize that distant celestial bodies only seem the way they look because we're actually looking back in time to see them. That means that celestial bodies were moving faster in the past than they are now because time is slowing down. Even if we don't know how much it's slowing down, we know that it might slow down to a stop if things are left as they are. Number 3. Hitler's opening speech. Did you know that the first signal broadcast strong enough to pierce through Earth's atmosphere was Hitler's opening speech at the 1936 Olympics in Berlin?
That's interesting.
That means that should aliens find Earth, that's probably one of the first things they'll mention to us when we communicate with them. It's probably the first sound they heard from humans. Number 2. The Fermi Paradox.
Hang on, what? I do not think he's the best representative. But that's a cool piece of knowledge, right?
The Fermi Paradox, named after Enrico Fermi, establishes that there's a contradiction between the lack of evidence for extraterrestrial civilization and various high estimates for their probability, such as the Drake equation that we just saw. Alien life has to simply exist in one form or another, but if that's the case, then where are the aliens? The Fermi Paradox establishes that it's much harder for life to exist than we originally thought, or that more life has actually existed and been destroyed over time. And number 1,
So, the Fermi Paradox, another topic that is very interesting. You know, it says that all intelligent civilizations would reach a point where they might very well destroy themselves through nuclear war, through destroying the environment, mass extinction events that might have been a cause of all these. So, you know, we all kind of know, like, nuclear war, the ozone layer, we're all inching our way towards that. So it's really a question of whether we can just make it out. Now, I know that seems dark, but I think this problem is just years and years away. You know, I wanted to say millions of years away, but it might be hundreds of years. But yeah, it's good that we start thinking about this. It's good that we have this knowledge to kind of educate the next generation when we get older. Because who knows, right? There might be the future Tony Stark in your family, the future Elon Musk. That's why it's so important to think. It's so important to be brave about what you kind of know. You know, and hey, that's why, you know, my channel is Brave Opinions, because there's just so many obstacles when it comes to freedom of speech. You know, this whole woke cancel culture. It's a variation. You of course have religious persecution throughout history. And yeah, it's 2022. These shouldn't be obstacles anymore, because if we continue allowing these archaic ideas to hold us back, how are we going to save our own species?
The universe is a computer simulation.
Yeah.
If you've watched The Matrix, then put your tinfoil hats on, because the universe might just be like the movie depicts it. The simulation hypothesis, or simulation theory, is the proposal that all of reality, including the Earth and the rest of the universe, could in fact be an artificial simulation, such as a computer simulation. Moderator Neil deGrasse Tyson, director of the museum's Hayden Planetarium, put the odds at 50-50 that our entire existence is a program on someone else's hard drive. He noted the gap between human and chimpanzee intelligence, despite the fact that we share more than 98% of our DNA. Somewhere out there could be a being whose intelligence is that much greater than our own. The main argument for this theory is based on the universe's laws. As the more scientists learn about the universe, the more they realize that it's very similar to a computer simulation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave.
So, simulation theory, that's a whole video on its own, but think about it, the way that our technology is growing. Oh my gosh, what is the phrase? Is it something law? Basically, it's said that the kind of complexities of technology and the capabilities of technology is doubling every 2 years. Think about that, right? We're no longer in an age of our parents where you can get 100 years to slowly get from horses to trains. We're developing so fast. I was born in 1992, and I believe if you were born in maybe 1990 to 1995, you're really able to see the entire the speed of growth, right? I remember having a dial-up laptop where you can't use the fax machine, you can't pick up a phone call, or your internet's gone. And just a few years later, we have AR, we have VR, Neuralinks put in chips in people's brains. And this is only a couple of years. The only setback that we have is more the bandwidth issue, more a hard drive issue. So if you think about that, a civilization that might have come before us and have maybe just a few thousand years would be enough. Think of the technology that they can develop. Now also consider, the game The Sims, or in fact any MMORPG that you play. Just a little bit of AI put into the game, and the NPCs are so hyper realistic. The world that they live in, it's an entire kind of earth on its own. So what are the chances realistically that we were the first? Again, to think that we're the only ones, that we're the first, is a pretty egotistical thought, and just probability states that it's most likely. The video mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson saying 50-50, but you have Elon Musk, etc., just saying that the probability of us not being the first is just so much higher. So yeah, another major issue I think that deserves a video on its own. So we'll check it out another time. But that's it for this video. I hope you like my review, and like, subscribe, join our Brave Opinion family, and let's have a good conversation, and bring back or at least help in our little way in an effort to encourage thought and really educate everyone around us, so we can steer past the hoaxes, the rubbish that is out there. So it's Uncle B signing out, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.